All right, guys, so I have not done a video in a while on YouTube, and I'm removing some because I'm learning that some projects I've got to scrap. I'm learning the balance. I've done a lot of videos actually on my own personal and Colorado Custom Leather and Blades Facebook page. So go there if you want to see a lot of the stuff, including like the sword I'm forging and stuff that I'm going to show you here, and also Instagram. I've just let people know I'm still alive pretty much, but I'm learning the balance. But this video is really something that I hold near and dear to my heart because there's more than just grinding in bevels and putting on an edge to a piece of steel. There's a philosophy and a heart to this. For myself, that I consider an artist, a maker in the renaissance of this. I'm using Jason Knight's terms because I think he says it so well. It's a renaissance. This is nothing new. This is a tradition that's over thousands of years old. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. The wheel's not broken. All we're trying to do is keep the tradition and that wheel intact and appreciated and maybe refined a little bit because we have, tools now, grinders versus stone. We have forges that are propane, not just coal or wood. We have a plethora of knowledge like I'm trying to share with you guys. We have so many avenues to learn this amazing art form. So that's what I want to share with you guys. You can look through YouTube and find different ways you can do grinds and profiling and all this stuff, but what about the heart of the maker? What about the knowledge that's just not in how to make the knife, but why you want to make the knife high quality? Okay, so my first lesson and the most important is a philosophy that I came up with a year ago because I was really looking back at all the years. I've made probably close to 130 knives now, something like that, in over 6 years. But looking at where I was to where I am is inspirational in itself. And that's what I want to do for the person that wants to get into this, be it a hobbyist or just wants a better quality product than one that they can buy in the store. Or if they're like me and they're crazy enough to actually chase this as a profession, not just a passive income, but a substitute income one day. And it's going to take time. I started for the wrong reasons. Don't start knife making to make money. Start knife making to appreciate quality knives and blades and the work that goes into it and the knowledge and the skill and the art. Because your skill will truly improve and you will be able to do things very few people on this earth can do. The number of professional bladesmiths out there all over the world is nowhere close to the number of people living on this earth. And the majority of them, my goal is to inspire people to buy better quality knives, not factory knives. Being a knife maker, I've stopped buying store-bought knives. I cannot stand them. They are just so freaking fake. And I'm going to talk about the difference between someone that wants a knife versus needs a knife. Okay, but the foundation to this, hear me on this. Appreciate your today, but have standards for it. Because if you have standards for it, you're going to be chasing that tomorrow. And the more you chase that tomorrow, you're going to have things to look back on that your yesterday. And what I mean by that, I'm not trying to do a show and tell. What I'm trying to do is inspire you for the right reasons to get into this. This is a stock removal knife that I made about 5-6 years ago. This is a camping knife that I made. And I'll give you a close overlook of it. So again, stock removal. The tools that I started with. This is another lesson. Don't limit your abilities to the limited tools that you have. You have to think creatively. Don't go and invest thousands of dollars into this if you're going to be a hobbyist. Hobbyists have turned this into a profession because they waited for the right time, the right skill level, and the people wanting their work. Again, don't start where I was, wanting to make money off of this. Start with the passion that you have while you're listening to me still speaking, because it's a philosophy lecture, whatever. This is my camp knives today, forged. This is 100% forged to profile on the anvil, meaning that I forged in the bevels. I forged in the profile, the curve to it. It makes it a nice lock in the hand. I did 95% of the profile of this, the finish of this on the anvil. I did the refining, the definition of it on the grinder. Very little grind time. Another hunting or camping knife, hunting knife that I forged on the anvil. Again, about 85-90% forged on the anvil to finish. My nephew's first hunting knife that I forged on the anvil. First time I ever did a guard. That's my today. Let me show you an example of what I mean by changing your standards, giving yourself a goal, a discipline, a standard. I've never forged a sword. I'm now forging swords. Short sword. But I've always had an appreciation for Japanese style blades. I used to study Bushido and Kenpo in high school. This is a wakizashi that I 100% forged to finish on the anvil. All I did was define the bevels that I forged in on both sides, including the tanto and the way the blade geometry is supposed to be, the tang because it's not traditional. All that you see right here was 100% done on the anvil. I just redefined it on the grinder. Why it looks the way it is because I'm doing a little bit of straightening. This was amazingly straight when I did my final normalization cycle. That is where I'm moving to. That is my inspiration to become better at. This is not going to be the only one I make. I'm going to make more of these because I want to become better. I want them to be fit and finish amazing. I'm going to hang this on my wall, even though it is going to be dangerous sharp when I finish it. But this is going to be my standard I put myself at, pushing my standards so I become a better quality craftsman at them. Another foundational lesson. A knife is always hypothetical until it's in a sheath. Let me say that again. Your knife that you're making is only a hypothetical idea until it is 100% finished in a sheath. You have to get through certain stages, and this is why I've changed my standard to no, I'm never going to do stock removal ever again. I'm only doing forging now. That is my standard. That's me chasing my tomorrow. Start with stock removal. If you have a passion for this, you want to make your own knife, awesome, good to go, do it. Don't limit yourself to the tools that you have available to you. There's options you can do. You don't have to go and spend thousands of dollars like I have over the years because it takes investment. And you can't just have a desire. If you want to become extremely good in this and to see your own craft improve, you're going to have to invest. The desire part has to have a discipline. Okay, you have to push yourself to become better. You have to practice. You have to mess up and learn from that. Start all over on some things. But you have to have a discipline, right? But if you just buy a piece of 1080 steel, 1095, stainless steel, whatever, and you can learn the geometries of the profile of blades and not doing anything crazy, keep it simple. Perfect that simple shape. Drop point, good example. Perfect that simple profile shape. Practice on your grinder. Send it off to be heat treated a few times so you can have a product in your hand that you know is heat treated right, so you have a standard that you can now build off of. Okay, so start with stock removal. All you really need is an angle grinder, a Sharpie to put your design on there, and a Harbor Freight grinder, a 1x30 or 4x36 like I started with. You can do it. Send it off to be heat treated. Or you can do what I did and I built a forge. My first forge was a lawnmower deck with a rotor drum, black pipe, and a hairdryer. Coal forge. That was after 2 other failed forges. Now I have a 3-burner Majestic forge that I absolutely love, and it's propane. I still want to get a coal forge because I love coal forging, but I'll get to there. I have a 2x42 grinder now, so I've invested. I'm going to get a 2x72 with the canted angle and the variable speed control, as well as the Fuller routers to it. I mean, there's things that I'm constantly trying to improve and chase because of my own personal standards of why I do this. So you gotta have fun with it too. Like, again, if you're doing this for the right reasons, you're going to appreciate the quality of craftsmanship of other people's and yourselves as you're building those skills up. Don't let your today defeat you. That's another lesson I teach people, like I was teaching my girlfriend, future fiance. Don't let the anvil defeat you, let it teach you. This is the first knife that she's ever forged. Look at the hammer marks on that. Is this high quality? And she's not going to be offended when I say this. No. This is a beginner's quality. This is a stepping stone to get you to where you want to go. Is she going to be a semi-professional, professional bladesmith? Probably not. But it's going to be cool when I can work by her side by side some days because she's built her skill level, and that's something that she wants to do because that's how we spend time together. Even when you don't have an anvil and a forge, don't let your grinder defeat you. Let it teach you. The tools you use, especially when you get new ones, you're going to have new headaches. You're going to have to learn how that tool is supposed to operate the right way. Not the way you want it to operate, but how it's supposed to operate. How you're supposed to do the blade geometries. How you're supposed to do all these things. You have a lot of time to learn if you change your why you're wanting to start. If you're wanting to start to make millions of dollars, good on you. That's awesome. I hope you get there, but most of the time people burn out real quick because they see the hard work in quality craftsmanship, which brings me to my final point. There is a difference between somebody that wants a blade and needs a blade. The person that needs a blade buys them as they are expendable, using a very low price range, 30 to 80 bucks, store-bought quality knives. I'm not going to mention all the company names because I don't want to be demonetized, but they can use it as is intended. Avid outdoorsman, hunter, whatever, tactical carry guy that's going to use it as a tool like it's intended, but it gets dull, it breaks in half, rolls the edge, whatever. Then they just go and buy it again and again because that's somebody that needs a knife, not wants a knife. A person that wants a knife is willing to invest in the finished quality of the knife. They see how it was made, ask how it was made, ask how long the person has been doing it, how the heat treat. They study the craftsman as much as they study the knife, because when they do that, then they're willing to invest in the product because they trust it. They know it's going to work. They know it's going to stay sharp. They know it's going to last them as long as they take care of it. And the biggest one is my personal why. Is because that is high quality product. It then becomes a legacy tool that they can hand down to their kids. And if they are taught how to take care of a knife and appreciate a knife, they can hand it down again and again and again. When you sharpen a knife, it narrows. But it's going to last longer than a store-bought knife that breaks within months to a year. Are you going to have to invest in the high quality? Yes, because it's not punched out by a machine. It's crafted by hands. It's crafted by knowledge. It's crafted by years of dedication and appreciation and passion. So that's me giving back to someone that's beginning, because it's worth it. Whatever your reason is, even as a hobbyist or whatever. My goal is to make 10 knives a month. I'm making 4 right now, and I'm not doing the best because my finished product comes with a sheath. And I'm also learning how to use different belts for blade geometry to help me get better at honing them, making them super sharp, or controlling the edge profile for the type of sharpness it needs to be. But these are all things you can learn doing stock removal. My standard is I'm no longer doing stock removal. I'm doing only forging. But you can start with limited and still have good quality product for yourself, and then build up from there. So I hope that helps some of you guys, because this is what I just showed you is 6 years. I can't imagine. I'm being humble when I say this, and you need to be humble when you're making knives. When I use the example of my today, my tomorrow, my yesterday, I don't know what my product's going to look like in 6 years, but I know I want it to look better than what it is today. My goal is not to be the best in the world, but to be known by some of the best in the world. Because if they can appreciate my work, I know other people can. That's why I'm also changing the standard that I'm going to start the journey of becoming a master bladesmith. It's a 6-year journey. I'm at 6 years right now. What more can I learn? And with that knowledge, how much better can my finished quality be? All right, guys. So that's it. God bless. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Thanks.